You are doing real revenue. You have serious clients, you have a team, you have a track record that genuinely speaks for itself, and yet your pipeline is not consistent. The really high value clients, the ones who show up already understanding your value, already willing to pay what you charge, already sold before the first conversation, they are not coming to you on their own. You are still having to work to get in front of them. Still having to explain yourself in ways you shouldn't have to at your level. Still closing clients who are almost right but not exactly right because the pipeline isn't full enough to be selective. And the frustrating part, you can't find the leak. Your delivery is excellent, your results are real, your reputation in your space is solid, but the business isn't producing the caliber of client it should be producing given everything you have already built. That is a positioning problem. Specifically the most expensive kind. The kind where your best potential clients are landing on your LinkedIn, your website, how you talk about what you do, and they are not seeing themselves in it clearly enough to reach out. Not because you are wrong for them, because your positioning isn't speaking to their specific situation with enough precision that they feel this person was built for exactly where I am right now. So they don't reach out, and you never know they were there. That problem, that specific quite expensive problem, is exactly what Claude Code 2.2 just made fixable in a way nothing before it could. Let me show you how Claude Code 2.2 changes this. Here's the short version of why this matters right now. The old Claude Code was genuinely powerful, but it had a wall around it. You needed to be comfortable in a terminal or a developer environment to use it properly. Most serious founders aren't developers and shouldn't have to be, so they stayed in Claude Code, which is great but limited. Claude Code 2.2 just changed that completely. Anthropic dropped a full desktop app redesigned alongside their new Opus 4.7 model. Claude Code now has a clean visual interface that any non-technical founder can actually use. And more importantly for what I am going to show you, it now runs automated workflows on Anthropic servers, not yours, which means they run in the background even when your laptop is closed. Which means the research and diagnostic system I'm about to walk you through, the one that shows you exactly what your positioning is communicating and exactly how to fix it, can run continuously, updating itself, feeding you sharper intelligence every single week without you having to manually trigger anything. That is what makes this different from every positioning exercise you have done before. Alright, here is exactly what this video covers. 1. What was broken about old Claude Code and what 2.0 actually fixed. 2. The 3-layer diagnostic system that shows you exactly what your positioning is communicating to your best potential clients. 3. How to rebuild your positioning on that evidence so the right people start self-selecting to you. 4. How to turn this into a live system that keeps getting sharper every single month on autopilot. And before we go further, I built this entire system for B2B founders, the positioning, the outreach, the funnel, everything that creates consistent 1-minute calls with exactly the clients you want. Link is in the description. Now let's get into it. Part 1. What was broken about old Claude Code and what 2.0 actually fixed? If you tried Claude Code before and gave up, I completely understand why. The power was always there. Claude Code has always been significantly more capable than co-work for complex, multi-step work. But there was a wall between that power and anyone who wasn't comfortable writing code. Here's what that wall looked like in practice. To use the old Claude Code, you had to open a terminal, a black screen where you type commands in plain text and run them. If you have never used one, it's about as welcoming as it sounds. Most serious founders have built entire businesses without ever needing to touch one, and there is no reason they should have to start now. The alternative was an IDE, something like Cursor or VS Code. These are environments where developers write, test and debug code, better than the terminal, but it's still built for developers. It still felt like walking into someone else's workspace where everything is designed for a skill set you don't have. So most non-technical founders made a sensible decision. They use Claude Code instead. And Code is generally good, but it has real ceilings. You couldn't generate images using external APIs. You couldn't run multiple tasks simultaneously. Your automated workflows only ran when your computer was on and the app was open, which made overnight automation essentially useless. And you were limited in how deeply you could connect external tools and data sources. Claude Code 2.0 just removed every single one of those ceilings. Here's specifically what changed. The interface is completely new. Anthropic rebuilt the entire Claude desktop app. Claude Code now lives inside a clean visual workspace. Not a terminal, not a developer tool. If you have used Quark, the transition feels natural. You can see your tasks, manage sessions, work across multiple projects, review plans before they execute, all in a proper interface designed for people who build businesses, not code. Routines now run on Anthropic servers. This is the big one. Old co-work scheduled tasks only ran if your computer was open and the app was active. Claude Code 2.0 routines run on Anthropic's infrastructure, which means they run whether your laptop is on or not. You are asleep, they are running. You are traveling, they are running. You come back to the output. This is what real automation actually looks like. Opus 4.7 just dropped alongside the update. The most capable Claude Model 8, more precise reasoning, better at sustained complex tasks, significantly stronger at the kind of deep research and analysis that makes the positioning system I'm about to show you actually work. Multiple sessions run simultaneously. You can now have 4, 5, 6 different tasks running in parallel inside the desktop app. Research running over there, outreach being drafted over there, analysis happening in a third window, all at the same time. That combination, accessible interface, always-on automation, the most capable Model 8 is what makes what I'm about to show you possible in a way it simply wasn't before. Now let's get into the actual positioning system. Part 2, why your positioning is filtering out your best clients right now. Here's what's actually happening in your business right now. Your best potential clients, serious founders, senior decision makers, the people who have real budget and real urgency and genuinely need what you do, they are encountering your positioning. Your LinkedIn, your website, how you describe what you do when someone asks, and a significant portion of them are moving on without reaching out. Not because you are not right for them, because nothing they read gave them a strong enough signal that you are specifically right for their exact situation. And the thing that makes this problem almost invisible from the inside is this. Your positioning makes complete sense to you. You wrote it. You know exactly what you mean by every word. You know all the nuance and context behind every claim you make. But your best potential client reads it cold. In about 3 seconds, with zero context, on a Tuesday afternoon between 2 other things, while forming a quick judgment about whether you are worth any of their time. And what they read in those 3 seconds is not what you meant. What they read is a version of something they have already seen from multiple other people in your space. It's credible, it's professional, it checks the boxes. It just doesn't make them feel this person gets exactly where I am right now. So they keep scrolling and you never know they were there. Here's what that costs you specifically. When your positioning is too broad, when it describes a category of service rather than a specific situation, the people who reach out are the ones who needed convincing, the ones who needed educating, the ones who weren't quite sure if you were the right fit and decided to find out. Which means your sales conversation starts from the wrong place. You are proving yourself instead of confirming what they already decided. You are justifying your pricing instead of them already understanding why you charge what you charge. You are filtering on calls instead of being filtered before the call. That is an exhausting and expensive way to run a business at your level. The fix is not more outreach, not better sales skills, not a different pricing structure. The fix is positioning that is fixed to your best potential client's specific situation with enough precision that they read it and immediately feel, this is the person I need to talk to. And here's exactly what that requires and how Claude Code 2.0 makes it possible. Part 3, the 3-layer diagnostic. Before you change a single word of your positioning, you need to see your business the way your best potential clients actually see it, not the way you see it from the inside. The way a serious, busy founder sees it in 3 seconds with no context. Claude Code 2.0 makes this possible through what I call the 3-layer diagnostic. Here's exactly how it works. Layer 1, the outside view audit. Open Claude Code, pull together everything a prospect would actually encounter before deciding whether to reach out. Your LinkedIn profile, all of it. Your headline, your about section, your featured content, how you describe your work in post, your website, every page that matters, homepage, services, about, case studies, any published content, your outreach, based in actual messages you send, real emails, real LinkedIn DMs, the actual words you use, your proposals, the language you use when you are actively selling, how you describe what you do on sales calls, based in your actual framework, feed all of it into Claude Code. Then ask you this. Read everything I've given you as if you are a serious founder running a real business who has never heard of me. You are evaluating whether to reach out based only on what's here. What problem does this business appear to solve? Who specifically does it appear to solve it for? What makes it genuinely different from anyone else who does something similar? And critically, what type of person would read this and feel it was built specifically for them? What comes back will be uncomfortable. Because in almost every case, it will describe a version of your business that is significantly vaguer than you thought your positioning was. Your specific expertise buried. Your genuine differentiation unclear. The specific situation someone needs to be in before you have the right answer not communicated. That response is the exact experience your best potential clients are having when they land on you. Seeing it in black and white clearly for the first time is where everything starts. Layer 2, the competitive mirror. Now you are going to build something most founders have genuinely never done. Give Claude Code the names of your 10 closest competitors. The businesses a serious prospect would also evaluate when looking for what you offer. Ask you to analyze how each one positions itself publicly. What problems they claim to solve, what language they use, what outcomes they promise, who they say they work with. Then ask, what patterns do you see across how all of these businesses position themselves? If you were a prospect encountering this category for the first time, what does the entire space sound like? What comes back will be clarifying in an almost uncomfortable way. Because what you'll find across every premium B2B category without exception is that everyone sounds nearly identical. Same claimed outcomes, same big differentiation, same professional language that says everything and nothing at the same time. This is not a problem. This is one of the most significant opportunities available to you right now. When an entire category sounds the same, and every premium category does, the one business that sounds genuinely different doesn't just stand out slightly. They become the automatic first choice for every serious prospect which is exhausted by everyone sounding identical. The competitive mirror shows you precisely what you are competing against, which means you can see exactly specifically where the white space is. Layer 3, the best client pattern. This is the most important layer, and it's the one almost nobody ever does properly. Take your 5 best clients, not your highest paying clients, not your biggest names. Your best clients, the ones where the work was genuinely excellent. The relationship was clean and easy. The outcome was something you are actually proud of. The ones you take 10 more of immediately without hesitation. For each one, write down specifically. What was their exact situation when they hired you? What had just happened or was happening in their business? What had they already tried that hadn't worked? What was the specific pressure they were under? What made them reach out to you specifically rather than someone else? Feed all 5 profiles into Claude Code. Ask it, what patterns do you see across these 5 clients? What specific situation, problem, and trigger keeps appearing? If you had to describe the precise moment in a business life when working with me becomes the obvious right decision, what does that moment look like? What comes back is your actual positioning, not the category description you have been using, not the broad outcome statement on your homepage. The real thing, the specific constellation of situation, urgency, and moment when you are genuinely the most relevant option on the table. And here's what makes this the most important layer of the 3. Most positioning describes a type of company. The positioning that attracts your best clients, the ones who show up already sold, describes a moment, a specific situation, a specific thing they have already tried that hasn't worked, a specific pressure they are under right now. When your positioning speaks to that moment precisely enough, the right person reads it and feels like you can see inside their business. That feeling is what makes them reach out. Now take everything from all 3 layers and ask Claude Code this. Based on the outside view audit, the competitive mirror, and the best client pattern, what is the single most specific, accurate, differentiated way this business could describe what it does and who it's for in a way that makes the ideal client feel immediately and completely understood? What comes back is your new positioning foundation. Not a tagline, not a reworded headline, a real evidence-based, externally verified articulation of exactly what you do, who you do it for, and why you are the precise right answer at the precise right moment. Part 4, rebuilding every surface. Now let me show you exactly what the difference looks like when this is done right. Because this is where most people get abstract and I want to stay completely concrete. Here's the before version. Read it and notice how it feels. I help B2B companies build marketing systems that drive consistent revenue growth. Notice what happens when you read that. Nothing. No moment of recognition. No feeling of that's exactly what I need right now. No reason to reach out instead of moving on. And the person who wrote it thinks it's fine. It's accurate. It covers what they do. But covering what you do is the lowest possible bar. Here's the after version, built from running all 3 diagnostic layers. I work with B2B service founders between 5 and 20 million in revenue who have built a serious business almost entirely on referrals and are now trying to build the first real system that creates new business without depending on who they already know. Read those 2 back to back. The second one isn't louder, isn't more impressive on paper. It's just precise. And precision does one thing that broad language fundamentally cannot. It makes the right person feel immediately and completely seen. A founder who has built a referral-dependent business and is under pressure to fix that reads that second version and thinks, that is my exact situation right now. They don't shop around, they don't compare 3 other options. They reach out because they feel like you already understand their problem before the first conversation even happens. Now, this foundation gets rebuilt across every single surface where a prospect encounters you. Your LinkedIn headline, rebuilt to speak directly to the moment your best client is leaving. Your about section, rebuilt around the story of the specific problem you solve, not your background, their situation. Your website homepage, Reveal to open with the specific situation your ideal client is in right now, not a description of your services. Your outreach, reveal to lead with a specific insight about their old rather than a description of what you offer. Your case studies, reveal to open with the situation the client was in before working with you. Because when a prospect reads a case study that opens with the situation that mirrors their own, they feel that story is about them. When every single touchpoint is rebuilt around the same precise foundation, the cumulative effect is significant. By the time a prospect reaches out, they already feel like they know how you think. They already trust your judgment. The conversation starts from a completely different place. You are not convincing them you are credible. You are confirming what they already decided when they read your positioning. Part 5. The live system. Here's the part that separates a one-time fix from an actual ongoing system. Most founders who do this work, they do it once. Update the website, rewrite the LinkedIn, feel good about it, move on. 6 months later, the market has shifted. Their ideal clients are using different languages to describe their problems. New pressure points have emerged. The competitive landscape has changed slightly. And the positioning is already going quietly still. What Claude Code 2.0 lets you build because of the always-on server-side routings is a positioning system that actively updates itself in the background. Here's how. First, a market signal monitor running as a routine. Because Claude Code 2.0 runs on Anthropic servers, this runs on a schedule whether your laptop is open or not. You configure it to scan weekly. Everything your ideal clients are publishing publicly. Their LinkedIn post, forecast appearance, the language they are using right now to describe the challenges they are navigating. Because the language evolves, what a serious founder called a lead generation problem 2 years ago, they might now be describing as a qualified pipeline consistency problem. Same underlying issue, different words. When your positioning uses the exact language your ideal clients are using right now, it feels like you are reading their mind. That's not clever, that's just staying current. And with Claude Code 2.0 running that scan automatically, you stay current without having to manually research it yourself. Second, a win-loss intelligence speed. Every time you close exactly the kind of client you want, you run a quick structure debrief in Claude Code. What was their exact situation? What language did they use to describe their problem? What specifically made them choose you? Every time you lose a conversation you actually wanted, same debrief, what seemed to be missing for them. Over time, this builds a continuously updated intelligence base, fed directly back into how you position yourself and how you open conversations. Third, a quarterly positioning stress test. Every 3 months, you run the full 3-layer diagnostic again. Updated competitive landscape, updated outside view audit, updated best client profiles with your most recent wins. You ask Claude Code, has anything shifted? Is there a more specific, more accurate way to position this business based on what's changed in the last quarter? Small precision updates every quarter. Your competitors will rewrite their website every 18 months and wonder why the right clients still aren't finding them. You will have a live system that continuously refines how precisely your positioning is fixed to the exact moment your best potential clients are in. So when they encounter you, the answer feels obvious before they have even had a conversation with you. Part 6. What actually changes? When this is actually working, 3 things change that are worth naming clearly. The first thing that changes is who reaches out. Right now, your inbox mix probably includes people who are close but not quite right, slightly under budget, slightly wrong stage, slightly off from the kind of engagement you actually want. When your positioning is specific enough, that problem largely disappears. You stop being visible to everyone broadly. You become immediately obvious to exactly the right people. The second thing that changes is where conversations start. When someone reaches out because your positioning made them feel genuinely seen, the conversation doesn't begin with you establishing credibility or justifying your pricing. It begins with them saying, here's my situation, because they already believe you understand it. That is a fundamentally different conversation, one that closes at a fundamentally different rate. The third thing that changes is consistency. Not because you are doing more volume, not because you are working harder, because the right people are self-selecting to you regularly. Month after month, because your positioning makes it completely clear that you are the specific right answer to the specific expensive problem they are trying to solve right now. That is what consistent actually means at your level. Not hustle, not volume. Just precision maintained properly, working for you continuously. Here's the honest truth. The diagnostic is the fast part. Claude Code 2.0 does the heavy lifting. What takes real clarity is knowing what to do with what it shows you. How to translate a positioning gap into a specific language that lands with the specific caliber of client you want. And then how to build the outreach and the funnel around that new positioning so it produces consistent calls every month. That is exactly what I build with B2B founders. The complete system, positioning built on real evidence, the research layer that keeps it current, the outreach that generates warm responses, and the funnel that makes it consistent month after month. If your business is doing real revenue and your pipeline still isn't producing the caliber of client it should be, the link is in the description below. We will get on a call, look at your specific situation, and map out exactly what needs to change. If this hits home, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.